Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me wish you a very happy International SME Day, and many thanks for everyone to honor us with your presence. Let me introduce myself. I'm Abhijit Mukherjee, Group Director of Informa Markets. Informa Markets in India is the country's leading exhibition organizer that provides industry with platforms that bring together buyers and sellers from around the world. Through a portfolio of exhibition, content-led conferences, seminars. As the world-leading exhibition organizer, Informa Markets boasts over 550 international marketing leading events, brands, and experience annually through face-to-face exhibitions. The Children Baby Maternity Expo, popularly known as CBME India, is an exhibition that brings together buyers and sellers on the same platform for the child baby maternity industry. I'm very happy to announce that the next edition of CBME will be organized at the Bombay Exhibition Center here in Mumbai from the 3rd to 5th of December. The 3-day exhibition will bring together Indian manufacturers, traders, suppliers of child, baby, and maternity products and services all under one roof. Moving on, I would like to welcome our moderator and my friend for today, Mr. Manish Kukreja, who is a hardworking and successful entrepreneur running an established toy manufacturing business under the brand name Shinsei Industry. As the president of the All India Toy Manufacturers Association, TITEMA, he has been entrusted with the responsibility of leading the toys industry with Make in India vision, team, and liaison with the government bodies to ensure smooth functioning of the association. I would like to thank Manish for his contribution today and appreciate his commitment and support. It's all over to you, Manish. The baton is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek. I think it was a no-brainer for me. It was either utensils or monitoring, so I chose this.
Yeah.
Right. I would like to thank Abhijit. Friends, it's a pleasure to see the turnout for today. The current scenario is very challenging, and it's the time that the SMEs rise to the occasion. One of the challenges we usually face is fear to innovate. Maybe it's because there are too many roadblocks, setbacks. They are not, they're basically stepping stones. And that's bound to happen. What we need to adopt is smart business solutions, and we need to change our mindset. For the toy industry to which I belong, the fear of failure of a new product restricts innovation, and hence it results in people copying each other's products. We get into a rat race instead of an innovative race. Innovation is the key to growth. Innovation shows our capabilities, our commitment to bring something new to the consumer. The perception needs to change, and with of our company to our consumers. Innovation doesn't have to be restricted to products. It could be in marketing, retail sales, management, a number of places. The innovative thought, thinking out of the box, is that what counts? Recent example I would like to share is there's a small association in Gurugram called TAG, TAG. The retail outlets out there in Gurugram were facing stiff competition from Amazon and Flipkart likes. So they came up with their own innovative manner. Site in Gurugram area, people are actually selecting the toys, and within 8 hours, it is ensured that the product is delivered to the consumer, thereby cutting the additional lead time what other big take. I thought that was something really fantastic. I would like to introduce all the esteemed speakers for the day today. Ms. Vatsala Mishra, Director, OSD Industries, Telangana Government. Mr. Mihir Parekh, Director, Textiles and Apparels, Telangana Government. He's a young and dynamic leader, director with an analytical mind, hardworking with futuristic mindset. He has been instrumental in the growth of the Kakatiya Mega Textile Park. I believe I've heard from Mihir ji, I believe ये वेल्सपन आया था to the textile park with a particular
Manish ji, we can't hear you. Hello, Manish ji.
yeah, okay. So I believe Welspun came back with a bigger project. And I think that's exactly what was to see how the Telangana government is working towards that. Shri Prakash Patel, MD Bhumi World, his vision and foresight have been instrumental in making Bhumi World Industrial Park one of the most trusted and admired industrial construction businesses. He brought a professional culture and transparency into the company, complementing it with strong internal control and financial discipline. Hardworking nature, innovative mindset, and never give up attitude has won him numerous awards, like the Bharat Gaurav Award for his distinguished services to the nation and outstanding personal achievements at the House of Commons, British Parliament, London. The Machinist Super Shop Floor Award in 2018, SME Business Excellence Award 2017 to name a few. Mr. Himanshu Patel, founder and president FIFC, that's Foreign Investors Facilitation Confederation, Gujarat. Having done many prestigious projects with the central and state government, Mr. Himanshu is an experienced hand in the SME sector. Shri Uday Kumarji, Director Planning and Marketing, NSIC Delhi. A postgraduate from IIM Bangalore, Shri Uday Kumarji has worked and formulated many strategies for over 32 years in marketing and policy information related to MSME sector. He is instrumental in developing contours of future verticals in defense procurement, machine selling, insurance, waste to energy, software selling, and e-commerce, all for the MSME sector. He has also led delegations to various countries and addressed roundtable conferences on the topic, Impact of SME section on global economy in Guangzhou, China in 2016. He fast-tracked the project of setting up vocational training centers in Mozambique by following up with the government of Mozambique. He has been conferred with the Rashtriya Icon Award in recognition for his contribution to the growth of the MSME sector and the Leadership Award for use of ICT in MSME by CMAI. Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, founder and president, SME Chamber of India. SME Chamber of India is a premier chamber and has been working for the development of SMEs from manufacturing, service sectors, and allied industries for the last 26 years. The chamber integrates SMEs, large corporates, MNCs, banks, investors, policymakers, young women and men and entrepreneurs and startups to establish and enhance contacts for better business growth and expansion. Mr. Prakash Murarka, Vice President, West Bengal Garment Manufacturers Association. West Bengal Garment Manufacturers Association and Dealers Association are leading organization representing ready-made garments industry in the eastern region. Established in 1962, the association has been rendering dedicated services for development of ready-made garment industry in this region. He runs a successful garment business for the last 3 decades and has been associated with the association for 20 years. He has been instrumental in development and growth of the garment manufacturers in West Bengal. Mr. Vijay Kumar, General Secretary, Tirupur Exporters Association. Student of BBM, Mr. Vijay Kumar commenced his work with his father and eventually went on to start his own company, Mrs. CBC Fashions, and started manufacturing knitwear garments in 2003. Along with being the MD for CBC Fashions and being General Secretary of Tirupur Exporters Association, Mr. Vijay Kumar wears a lot of hats and holds positions in many associations and social service organizations. Next, we have Mr. G. Madan Kumar, Associated Partner, Bhumi World, and Mr. Kabada, Mahesh Kabada, President, Bhumi World. Gentlemen, I welcome you all and honored to be meditating this webinar today. I've been asked to take up certain questions. However, I'll first introduce everybody to the topic. Even though the small and medium enterprises sector contributes to a large chunk to the GDP, traditional inefficient methods of operating business at a low rate of technology adoption and has hindered smaller businesses to achieve great potential. Google research in collaboration with consultancy firm KPMG revealed that 68% of the 5.1 million, that's about 5.1 crore SMEs, are not connected to the internet. The study also found the digitization of SMEs could contribute to India's GDP by 10 percentage points, pushing it to 46 to 48% by 2020. Of course, this was pre-pandemic. Post-pandemic, there will be some variations. Sahil, Mr. Vijay Shah saying he's not been able to see the audio. Can you just have a look at that? I will start off with a question. I think this is the one that's most relevant right now. Can everybody hear me? My screen's frozen again.
Can
anyone hear me?
From host side, there is some internet issue.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead. We are listening to you. Go ahead. Manish, you can talk.
Audio? I can't hear anyone.
Your network is not proper. So best way, your audio is perfect. You can go ahead. Manish, can you hear us?
I think till Mihir comes online. Neeta, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah, Neeta, so can you please take up the first presentation by Vatsala ma'am?
Yes, Sahil, can you?
Am I audible?
Yes, Manish, you are. Manish, you're there?
Neeta, want me to sign out and reconnect again?
Yes,
Oh, no, it's okay. We can continue.
No, let him sign out and then come back, because his audio and video is having some problem.
Okay. Meanwhile, Sahil, can you please play the?
You can go ahead. Yeah.
Sahil, can you please play the video? Till Manish comes, let me take over.
Yeah, you can play the Bhumi World video.
Yeah. Sahil, can you please play the Bhumi World video?
Has carved a dynamic growth history in the past few years. And together, we have to elevate this striking transformation to a whole new level. Bhumi World Industrial Park, an integrated plug-and-play industrial cluster campus that allows MSMEs to maximize their capabilities and expand their businesses in lesser time and affordable cost. All in one and one for all. The cluster development model is a comprehensive industrial unit that offers multiple benefits to entrepreneurs and convenience of shared resources by building a self-sustained ecosystem all at one place. The integrated industrial park spreads across 125 acres, offering easy plug-and-play infrastructure. The facility houses 1,400 fully operational MSME units. These MSME units have invested rupees 3,000 crore for establishing their factories. The factory units employ more than 30,000 people. Each of these factory units is supremely low cost, which ultimately benefits the factory owners to leverage their businesses by investing in technological innovation. If you ask, why do we suggest the cluster development model? With standardizing the industrial units, it is one of the most cost-effective solutions for setting up MSME manufacturing units with standard PEB shed, that is pre-engineering shed, quoting rupees 1,400 per square feet for a ready unit. entrepreneurs can own 2,500 square feet to 60,000 square feet in the same time frame of 130 days, or expand their businesses as per their flexibility. Investing in this model can economize 80% of the total budget, which can be further utilized for general business operations. The manufacturing units are established on the outskirts of the city, thereby creating employment opportunities for the rural community. Taking forward Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of transforming India to a $5 trillion economy, we encourage MSME entrepreneurship by supporting Make in India, inviting domestic and international SME, MSME, e-commerce. Skill India, allocating space for training and employment. Digital India, connecting MSME with e-commerce. Startup India. Bhoomi World's contribution is to encourage startups by charging them lower rentals for units so that they can focus to get established with available resources and funds. By developing even 100 cluster models pan-India, we aim to generate over rupees 3,000 billion through investments and employ more than 3 million people. And it's not just Indian entrepreneurs, but foreign investors who are willing to benefit from this model will also be provided with a ready plug-and-play infrastructure with all necessary approvals from the government. Because naturally, when the hassles involved in entrepreneurship get minimized, more foreign investors look forward to setting up global manufacturing units in India. As of today, over 250 international MSME units are based out of Bhoomi World Industrial Park.
Hello everyone. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I think there was some net issue there. I will again start with the introduction of all the panels today. Everyone. Okay. Yeah. I'd like to welcome Ms. Vatsala Mishra, Director, OSD Industries, Telangana Government, Mr. Mihir Parekh, Director, Textiles and Apparels, Telangana Government, Shri Prakash Patel, MD, Bhoomi World, Mr. Himanshu Patel, Founder and President, FIFC, Shri Uday Kumar, Director, Planning and Marketing, NSIC, Mr. Chandrakant Salunke, Founder and President, SME Chamber of India, Mr. Pradeep Murarka, Vice President, West Bengal Governments Association. Sir, wishing you all, welcoming you all, and Mr. Vijay Kumar, General Secretary, Tirupur Exporters Association, and Mr. Madan Kumar and Mr. Mahesh Kabara, President, Bhoomi World. Welcoming you all, sir, to this webinar. I am sorry for the glitch that happened some time back. I think something wrong with my internet connection at home. I'll give a little introduction for our members here. The SME sector contributes to a large chunk in India's GDP. Traditional inefficient methods of operating businesses and low rate of technology adoption has hindered smaller businesses to achieve their potential. Google's research in collaboration with consultancy firm KPMG has revealed that 68% of the 51 million SMEs are not connected to the internet. The study also found that digitalization of SMEs could expand contribution to India's GDP by 10 percentage points, pushing it up to 46 to 48% by 2020. I think with the pandemic, there might be a little change, but that's a big amount. Today, our discussion on how SMEs can attain full potential and get to the next level of growth. I would like to start off with the most pertinent question today. What has been the impact of COVID to each of the industries? I believe everybody is aware that recently has really put a lot of focus on the toy industry, and I've been asked to start off with toy industries, and then we can move on to the other industries post that. So the toy industry, I will give a little briefing to everyone. we are highly dependent on the Chinese market. 80% of the entire toy sales in the country are from China, are from imported actually, and 95% of those imported are from China. The Indian manufacturers have only 20% of the market share, which we were working hard. In 1991, we had 80% market share, and China and the world had 20%. There've been a series of issues that have happened in the past, wherein there were reversal duty structures which hit the industry badly. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen a remarkable change. A lot of new startups have come in, and one of them is also exporting to China, which has been, a feather in our cap. So, yeah, the industry is fighting back. And we were in 2015 when we did this survey, we had 15% market share, and now in 2019 we had a 20% market share. COVID has really hit us bad. It has hit us under the belt, but it's been a big spark for us, because with imports also strong in the domestic market is picking up, and Indian manufacturers are getting there. The industry actually needs a lot of support from the government. We need clearer regulations, and QCO is one thing that we've been asking for. That's quality control order. Unfortunately, we're not getting it the way we wanted it, the way we envisioned it. So that's what we have. I would like all the other panelists to please join in. Veer sir, if you can join in, or maybe Vijay Kumar sir, you can join in and just tell us exactly how the COVID has impacted the industry. And then we could also ask Mr. Pradeep ji to join in after that.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Yeah. My voice is coming? Hello. Yeah. So regarding since our association is totally connected with the apparel industry. Since the apparel industry is in the MSME sector, and it is being produced in West Bengal from a long time back. It is a household industry in the West Bengal. And most of our industry here is coming under MSME mostly. Right? But the thing is that the types of problem what we are facing in the domestic market as well as in the export market, if we compare as of in today's scenario, we are comparing the things with the China. But the thing is that type of support we are expecting from the government, the most important things are rate of interest, easy financing, and easy power availability, and other escapism. But in all the fronts, we all are talking about competing with the China. We are want to replace the goods which are being imported from China in the garment sector. But the competitiveness, how it will come here, the government support is not coming in any way. The government has announced in the COVID scenario that they are giving 20 lakh crore rupees worth of funds, this and there, here and there. But I have spoken to so many banks, our regular banks, that you are being allowed to give non-collateral, without collateral loans to any sector of ours in the apparel. No one bank is coming forth with the proposal that the government has allowed us, and we are giving so much of collateral-free loans. We are ready on the basis of the balance sheet event. But no bank is coming forward. So I don't think so the central government or our government in the state also, that they are coming very clearly about the funding, the finance requirements of the industry and the other requirements. Even if we want a power connection, it is taking a long of time. We are not getting it. Other local registrations, trade license, this tax, that tax, they are not giving us the easy license. So how we are going to compete with the China and we are replacing it? I doubt it. It is a very big if actually, but the rate capism has to be cut like 1991 when the Manmohan Singh government, Narasimha Rao government came into the power, and Manmohan Singh in a 7-day scenario after he became the finance minister, in a single stroke of pen, he achieved the biggest thing of India, that except 13 strategic industry, license Raj was totally abolished in 1 day in a one stroke. Our present government is still not recognizing the thing has been done in the past government. we require a removal of the rate taxism from the industry in all together. So everything is available online. If I want a trade license, I want this license, that license, there are so many local licenses which we have to visit the government office, and they will not give us the license to start the factory or the warehouse or the offices. So I think so many persons from the Telangana government are on the panel, and if somebody can put forward and our problems, it is a universal problem from the India, every nook and corner of India. So if the things can be done easily, certainly we have the manpower, we have other expertise, the type of garment we can manufacture are best in the world. Nobody can compete in the designing garment from our side. If Vietnam, you name it, Bangladesh, you name it, Indonesia, nobody can supply a type of garment which India can give. But certainly we will be requiring easy supply of the finance, easy licenses, easily everything. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Pradeep, I think to summarize it, what you're saying is that we should ensure, the government should ensure that we get a single window kind of a system wherein all permissions are given.
The thing is that if I talk about my West Bengal scenario, Calcutta, even in my factory, if I want to establish a new factory at a new location, the type of trade license, local body license, this license, that license, electricity connection, they are havoc.
Yes. Exactly, Pradeep, I think जो single window में ना ये सब problem solve हो जाती हैं. जब आप single window लेते हैं ना, ये सब problem हो जाती है. I think if Ms. Vatsala can give a little idea, or Mr. Mihir can give a little idea on this, इसमें हमको पता चल जाएगा. Ma'am, sir.
Okay, so Murarka ji has raised.
एक मिनट में खाली बैंकिंग फाइनेंस के लिए वो बोलना चाहूंगा कि जो बैंक्स के जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज अनाउंसिंग ऑन द टीवी, आवर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर रिस्पेक्टेड Sitharaman is coming on TV, our respected prime minister is coming on the TV, we are giving this much lakh of crores to you. The MSME is the biggest employer of the persons in the India. Every smallest of the MSME sector, even a person with a 10 crore turnover or 2 crore turnover is employing at least 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people. Whatever type of they are bread and butter. But government is just not, they are just saying MSME we are doing this much, MSME we are doing that much. The cap you have raised on the MSME, making it 100 crore company become SME, government has lost nothing. What government has lost? Central government. They have brought everybody under the MSME sector. So the small person who were getting some finance earlier, now that total finance will be available to multiple of the industries. Those who were not eligible for the MSME earlier, now even they are eligible. So the smallest of the,
So sorry, but the reason I'm interjecting is we are moving away from the topic for today's discussion, which is smart business solutions. Okay. Your point well taken. My suggestion is that I think we'll let Mr. Mihirji answer that question, and then we can sum it up from there. Sir.
Right.
First of all, many thanks to Bhumi World and all the panelists who were here for inviting us, the government of Telangana, to come and talk about what we have been doing so far. Telangana, if you all know, I'm sure you all know, is the youngest state in the country, the 29th state. We are just 6 years old as a state. And but in these 6 years, we have actually been extremely progressive, and especially on the industry side. So in fact, you would be surprised to know that when the state was formed in June 2014, the very first piece of legislation that came out of Telangana government legislature was the Telangana Industrial Policy in November 2014. So that goes on to tell you the kind of priority that the state government puts on the industrial development of the state. All right. And that industrial policy was so forward looking that within a couple of years, Telangana was catapulted to rank #1 in ease of doing business across the country. And some of the provisions within this policy address exactly the problems that Pradeep ji mentioned just now. What the state government has done is they have, as Manish ji also mentioned, created a single window system called TSI Pass, IPAS stands for Industrial Project Approval and Self-Certification System. So when you want to set up a new unit in Telangana, you don't even require any approvals, let alone run through different departments to get approvals. You can self-certify saying that I am in compliance with the laws of the land. And if you have land if you have purchased land, if you have leased land already, you have to go to nobody. You don't need a single piece of paper to basically start your construction. By the time you start your operations, so whatever approvals are required, you get all of them online on that one single window. Okay, and this is not a window which has 20 windows behind it, wherein you have just one web page which has links to several different departments, and then eventually it takes you to those departments and you have to apply for those approvals at the respective department websites. No. On this one single window, the moment you put in your project details, your investment size, employment size, nature of industry, and so on, it gives you a list. Okay, look, for this nature of industry and for this size of the project, these are the 10 approvals that you require. And all the transactions, including paying fees for those approvals, uploading documents required for those approvals, it will ask on that one portal. And you upload all those documents, you upload all those fees on that portal, and you are done. You don't have to individually go follow with any single department. The software itself directs the queries and directs the approvals to individual departments. Those departments, if they find any issues, they raise queries on that portal, which comes to you as an industrialist. You reply to those queries and they get closed, and all those approvals come to you from that one single window. Okay, and the system is so streamlined that no approval is outside of that window. So if the single window says that these are the 10 approvals required for you, then those are the only 10 approvals required. No inspector can come and demand that the 11th approval you have not taken. If it's not there on the portal, it's not required for your project. Okay. This whole system of a single window clearance is now being replicated, because we don't hold back anything. Even if an innovation is being done in one part of the country, we want various other states and the country, the union government also, to look at those things. And these innovations are now being replicated across various states. But Telangana was the pioneer in 2014 when it came to these kind of systems. And probably it has not percolated all the way to West Bengal. But I'm hopeful that it will. And in the meanwhile, Pradeep ji and all his apparel manufacturers can favorably look at Telangana to set up their apparel units. Coming specifically to textiles and apparel, Pradeep ji also mentioned availability of capital, the rate of interest, and so on. So that's where we, as Telangana, as state government, have a specific textile and apparel policy. In fact, you would be happy to know that Telangana as a state provides the highest interest subvention for textile and apparel units. We provide 8% interest subvention for setting up a textile or an apparel unit. And so effectively your cost of funds, if you are borrowing at 12%, your cost of funds effectively will come down to 4%. And not only that, we are also thinking and moving on the lines of how we can reduce capital cost in the first place. The interest subvention will still come a step later, wherein the capital cost is to be put in by the promoter, and then he pays interest on the debt, and then he gets reimbursement. But how we can reduce the capital cost of a project is the lines on which we are now moving. Specifically for apparel units, we are setting up a plug-and-play infrastructure. I'm sure Bhumi World in their project is also setting up the same. The state government has set up a 1,200-acre Kakatiya Mega Textile Park in Warangal, and not just in Warangal, but we are setting up apparel parks in Sirsila and elsewhere in Telangana as well. At all these places, we are developing what is called plug-and-play infrastructure, which means that the shed and all the civil and electrical works and everything is created by the state government, and it is leased out to the industry, who can simply come in with their machines and they can start their work. It reduces capital cost in a big way. It reduces, more than the capital cost, it reduces the project risk. Today, when somebody, a small unit especially, is thinking of setting up a unit, he has to think about his project risk in terms of, even though I set up a unit today, what are going to be the situations 2 years, 3 years down the line? What happens if 3 years down the line I am unable to carry on with the project? What happens to my cost? Is it a sunk cost? And so on and so forth. So the moment you take away some components of the capital cost, especially in industrial parks across the country and specifically in Telangana, what we do is we take away all the peripheral activities required by the industry. So say for example, for a dyeing unit, the dyeing unit will typically require a effluent treatment plant, and this is a peripheral activity. This is not a core activity of that industry. What we do is we are setting up a common effluent treatment plant so that the unit on its individual standalone basis need not set up an effluent treatment plant. They can use the common effluent treatment plant for on a pay-per-use basis to whatever extent they're required to use. Similarly, all the peripheral ancillary infrastructure, even for small units, R&D facilities, training facilities, skilling facilities, and so on, are being set up in the textile parks in Warangal, in Sirsila, and so on, so that the industry per se has to focus only on their core activities, and all the peripheral activities are taken care of by the government. In fact, the government goes on to say that whatever is your manpower requirement, do tell us with the level of skilling that is required, and we will make it available. You require 500 people, will train 1,000 people and make it available to you, and you can pick and choose. So there are states, and definitely Telangana is one among them, and at the foremost, who are extremely progressive and are very forward looking and prowling actually to invite investors to set up their manufacturing units in the state. And we are extremely happy. In fact, Manish mentioned Welspun a little while earlier. Welspun, if you see, the company is a giant in India, one of the largest exporters of textiles to Gujarat, to the US from India. But if you see their units, their plants, their locations, they have been in Gujarat all the while. They have a couple of units in Madhya Pradesh, but by and large, say 90% or more of their investments have all been in Gujarat. And a company so entrenched in one particular state, we could actually talk to them. We could show them the value proposition of setting up a manufacturing unit in Telangana. And that's precisely what happened. As Manish mentioned, the company came with one project, and they said, no, one project now does not make sense. It is better that we come with even bigger investment. And eventually they came with 3 projects. So there are states, as I mentioned, Telangana being one of them, which are extremely forward looking, and for units, especially within the textile and apparel sector, the sector which I'm looking after, we are really on the prowl. So if any investor is looking to set up manufacturing units, Telangana should be the state that you must not miss.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your kind information about the Telangana and the easy policy your government is undertaking over there. Although we will certainly think in the long term to moving some of our facilities to Telangana. In the meanwhile, since we are in the West Bengal, we look forward that our government can take some cues from your side, your speeches and your ideas, and give us more facilities to set up and run our business over here. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's nice to see that a 6-year-old state giving the elder brothers a run for their money. But sir, from the toy industry, I would say, look at us also. We also need some help out there because we are also in the MSME sector. I believe I think we all agree that SME sector is going to be the next big revenue generator for the country. With the number of units that we have, a slight increment anywhere could be good. So, what is the future do we all see for the SMEs? I would like Meher and Madanji, and if Himanshuji can throw some light over here because they have the experience here. I can't see Mr. Udayji there. Has Udayji joined in?
I did.
Yeah, so basically, Manish bhai, hello,
Manish.
and congratulations to all panelists to come here and share their ideas and that. So basically, our thought process was, if you see in large of the world, where US and Europe countries are making basically capital goods manufacturing. They do only innovation and the technology products in there. And where in Asian countries like China, Bangladesh, Vietnam, India, Sri Lanka, everybody is doing the multiple that machinery, like ready-made garments, like printing and everything, like 1 lakh piece every day, 2 lakh piece every day, like that. So the scope, what you see in the world, where in China there are 70% of factories are not from Chinese company, they are from outside the China, like US companies having the establishment in China. Some of the Japanese company also have a factory in China, like European countries also have some factory in China. So these are all happening there in the world scenario, where you see the opportunity for India SME. Like now we are a 70% of thing we are importing maximum from China right now to the India, and 20 to 30% we are exporting to Europe and US countries. So basically, the problem situation is we are also having opportunity right now where for the SME, but the biggest hurdle for the India going to be for infrastructure. India is also having the consumption power where if suppose that 70% of import from China, it comes to 50%, that 20% will be the biggest the revenue generation for the Indian market, because that is the where in India uh, we are lacking for the infrastructure. How I give you one example. If somebody wants to have the factory, so what is the traditional way to have the start the manufacturing unit? You go to government, buy the plot, take the plant pass from the government, then make the construction of your own factory, then take the 20-30 permissions, and then start your manufacturing unit. It takes more than 3 years. So the product life cycle is getting lesser day by day, where because innovation is every 6 months, 1 year, your product is getting changed, your product is having some replacement of the market, like there was CD before that, then it came to pen drive, then it came to iCloud right now. So how this market is changing day by day, you don't know. So whatever innovation idea you have to just start your manufacturing unit. If you see the scenario, traditional way, whatever investment you are doing in the SME sector, 50% of the money you are making for the land, building, and construction. And 50% from that, 30% is for machinery, and 20% is for working capital. So we are now in India. The challenge is how to reduce that 50% to 15%. So the cluster development and plug and play unit is going to be the next level for this SME, where people are going to cluster development to save their cost, because they are going to save their own capital investment from 50% to 15% or 16% in their land and building. That will be directly affected to the end product price. It will be from 15 is coming. That means your 35% of investment is balanced for you, that you can go into working capital or expansion in the machinery and new technology like that. So, and the timeline, the cluster development of ready plug and play unit will be required the timeline for this, where if somebody wants to start their factory, it should be start in maximum 200 days of the factory. And where cluster development will be the biggest advantage for India, because if some ready-made garment manufacturing cluster development, if we are targeting, there we will be having the cloth manufacturing, button manufacturing, dhaga manufacturing, pad, whatever related to the manufacturing sector of the textile or ready-made garment, it will be in house, everything. So the transportation cost will be less. If all the major ready-made garment people are there, we can Zara, Mango, H&M. You come here and start your the sourcing from our industrial units, where you will be having the competitive rates also with the timeline, because India is very much behind for the timeline what Zara and H&M is targeting up to. And I talk about some toys industry, Manish bhai. I know there are 99% of or 100% manufacturing companies are the product are coming from EU, from China, where the people are like buying. See, now what Manish bhai is going to happen, I will share some scenario of China also. China is was having some export subsidy before 2 years. Now it is 10 to 20%. They were giving some export subsidies to the people who are exporting from China to other countries. It has been stopped from there. And then the second thing that if you know the price, labor cost, minimum wages is right now 50,000 person per month for Indian rupees, like 5,000. Yeah, it is gone up like anything. Like if you ask for engineer skill labor, it will be like 1.5 lakh per month. So it is going very much high compared to European countries right now. So
yeah,
then,
sorry, Prakash bhai, I got that.
Third last thing I want to share that India is putting lots of anti-dumping duties on the products which is import from China. That is also going to be the things where now everything is going to advantage for the Indian companies, but we need infrastructure to run their factories. That's all.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prakash bhai. I have another question, in fact, for Vatsala ma'am and Mihir sir. And this is something I want to take a cue from the Telangana government, because Jaise Mihir sir ne bhi bataya, it's been a very interesting way they have handled it. Ma'am, what is the Telangana government doing to foster and promote digitalization of technology for the SMEs so that their output can go up and then we can be competitive with the world? Ma'am.
So actually, a couple of years back, we started this initiative called Digitizing MSME, in which we tied up with several private IT companies and also IT MSMEs who were willing to offer their products at a very subsidized rate for MSMEs. So we actually had some 6-7 sessions in the various associations, local associations, in which these people showed their products and many people took advantage of these. Recently, last year, we tied up with a company called Global Linker. So this is in collaboration with them, we have actually developed a portal for MSMEs across the state. And they actually have an MSME base of about 3 lakhs in Southeast Asia region. But since we started here last year, so far we have reached about, say, 5,000 plus MSME members on the portal. And these members can actually avail like creation of online e-store facilities free of cost. So they can actually create a free marketplace for their products with integrated payment and delivery partners already on the portal. And a lot of services which we are trying to, for example, some expert sessions for MSME, specifically information sessions for various sectors, government information. So a lot of things we are trying to push through this portal for the MSMEs of the state. And recently they also last month launched a portal called Kirana Linker, which is for the state Kirana stores for all the traders. So they can actually use this portal and create an online e-store, like a Kirana store, within 10 to 15 minutes. And so using this portal, like in the last month itself, some 1,000 registrations have been created. So through partnerships, we are trying to sort of help promote the digital awareness, digital learning in the state for MSMEs.
There's a video also that you have on this part?
I don't have a video for this, but I mean, I can share later.
All right, fine. Sahil, I think you have a video on the Telangana thing that's been told to me. Can you play that now, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
India is changing, and with this changing facet, a new yarn is spun every moment. India is the second largest producer of fiber in the world, and the major fiber produced is cotton. Other fibers produced in India include silk, jute, wool, and man-made fibers. 60% of the Indian textile industry is cotton-based. The new state of Telangana, a major textile hub in India, is the third largest producer of long staple cotton with production of around 60 lakh bales per annum. Telangana is well known for historical textile sector operations with 50,000 power looms, 17,000 handlooms and skilled workforce. The authentic weaves like Pochampalli Ikat, Gadwal saris and Warangal daris, Siddipet and Narayanpet silks, and has evolved to be the cultural glory in the global front. There are 33 spinning mills with capacity of 10 lakh spindles. which consumes only about 20% of the cotton grown in the state, with the rest 80% going to other states for spinning. Warangal, with a population of 1 million, is the second biggest city of Telangana. Warangal was ruled by the Kakatiya dynasty in 12th century and is the highest cotton growing district in Telangana. Only a 2 hours drive from Hyderabad International Airport, and with a proposed airport coming up, Warangal will prove to be welcoming for the industries, as it will enable easy shipment of industrial cargo throughout the country and the world. Also, being well connected to national highways and strong rail network makes the Warangal-Hyderabad Industrial Corridor an attractive destination for industries. Due to the availability of water, stable power situation, improved telecommunication systems, there is an opportunity to create large manufacturing base in textile industry. Honorable Minister for Industry, Handlooms and Textiles for the state of Telangana, Sri K.T. Rama Rao, has visited several textile parks across the country and abroad to study and analyze the textile industry. With a view to harness the potential of Warangal, the cotton hub of Telangana, under the visionary leadership of Honorable Chief Minister Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, the government of Telangana has announced the Kakatiya Mega Textile Park. The textile park is proposed over an area of 2,000 acres at Shampet village of Gizukunda Mandal and Chintalapalli village of Sangam Mandal in Warangal district. This prestigious project will be implemented in phased manner with an estimated budget of over 1,000 crores, and the development strategy is based on the fiber to fashion concept, which includes the complete textile value chain starting from ginning, spinning, weaving, knitting and textile processing. A world-class infrastructure with 45-meter wide arterial road for the efficient movement of multi-axial trucks, a fully equipped electrical distribution system, environmentally compliant 21 MLD common effluent treatment plant with zero liquid discharge, common amenities for the textile value chain with marketplace for finished goods and product display center. Kakatiya Mega Textile Park has obtained an en masse environmental clearance, thus the units are ready to build and ready to operate.
On the ease of doing business, we are ranked #1 in India today for 2015 and 16. We believe in minimum inspections and maximum facilitations. TSI Pass is a new act that we have brought out in the state of Telangana. We believe in a truly single window clearance. We promise by statute, by an enactment of the Telangana state legislature, all clearances in less than 15 days. When the government promises and does not deliver, in any other state, you cannot do much, possibly. But in Telangana, you can actually sue us. You can take us to a court of law. By statute, by an enactment, we are liable for penal action if we don't deliver on the promise. In fact, Telangana has gone a step ahead. India, erstwhile India, was known for its red tape and license raj. We are breaking that stereotype. Telangana today imposes levies, a penalty of ₹1,000 per day to any bureaucrat that is held responsible for the delay in case we don't clear your file in 15 days. This is unheard of in Indian history. Our policy gives me the unique ability, the flexibility to customize, to tailor-make a package for you. If you are a mega investor is anybody who's going to invest more than 200 crores of rupees, or who can generate more than 1,000 jobs, or who is going to invest in a strategically important sector for me. If you fit this criterion, then my policy gives me the unique authority and ability to either meet or beat the best offer you have in India.
I think that the potential of Telangana is very well defined in the policy, and I invite you, the world, to explore the possibilities in Telangana. I assure on the Government of India's behalf that any support needed, come and invest for textiles in Telangana. Congratulations.
Make in Telangana a preferred destination for industries.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Vasla ma'am, I think it is brilliant what has been done. And I just hope that in fact, I want to thank Abhijit. Abhijit, thanks a lot for letting me moderate this thing, because now I'm going to take Mir sir and Vasla ma'am's contact details and trouble them for the toy industry as well. Anyway, Himanshu sir, I have a question for you. You have a vast experience in dealing with the government and SMEs. Could you share insights on the international SME sector that we have?
Yeah. So here I would like to throw some more lights on this current scenario after this COVID-19 pandemic. See, now we have this opportunity. So we all the SME and MSME sector to get ready to global. So now this is time for SME to you can say MNC. So here we need to tap this potential. We have to get ourselves ready with an international standard operating processes. Here we are working on some typical and traditional way of our business. We are definitely producing very well cotton, very well fabric, but we are somehow we are lacking with that this proper and professional marketing tools. So number one, we have to be you can say online, right? So we have to take some IT support. We need to become professional in terms of SOPs, in terms of our packaging, in terms of our branding, in terms of our brochure or company profile and all those aspects. Then and then only we can tap some international opportunities. Here there are tremendous opportunities are waiting for some good manufacturers to do the joint ventures. They can also we can say the mergers and acquisitions are also on a very higher acceptability. So there we can see that immediately if your company, your unit is ready to meet up the international standards, you can definitely get some good revenue out of that. Okay, and we can always set up another facility at our own. So these are some opportunities which we are exploring looking to this current scenario. As far as the government some policies are concerned, so as like we can say right now China is the major manufacturing hub as on today. So as Prakash bhai also told that Chinese government has declared some export advantages. Hello. So Chinese government has declared some export subsidies and some special benefits. Just on the same way, our Indian government is also working on it. It will take some time, right? Now we are looking to those possibilities. We have to work hand in hand. So international opportunities are very well compared to the local opportunities. We all know that international opportunities will pay us very well. So this all permission and combinations, we have to think and we have to act accordingly. As far as some foreign collaborations and tie-ups, we as an Foreign Investors Facilitation Council will always be there for you for any industry, right? Here we are talking on textile and toys manufacturing industry. So it has a tremendous potential. So as far as our local consumption and as India is a strategic location for export market to the Western countries, so we have to grab this opportunity as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. Himanshu bhai, I was just आपने जब ये बात कही कि a lot of standards need to be done. I was in one of the meetings with the government, and we did come across a very noted point. What one of the officers told us there in Udyog Bhavan was that India is the most under-standardized country in the world. We hardly have any standards on anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what has happened is that when we want to, from 2009, the toy industry has been asking for standards. And last year when the government actually started working on it, we were working on BIS Scheme 2. And on 12th of Feb this year, we had a meeting in FICCI where we had called the Joint Secretary, everything was going on fine. And suddenly on 24th or 25th of Feb, BIS Scheme 1 was notified. So, जो हमने एक साल में जो काम किया है on Scheme 2, that became nullified. we had to change it again onto Scheme 1. 12th March was when we were in BIS for Scheme 1. And after that, of course, the pandemic happened and we were shut down. Toy industries, the QCO is supposed to come on 1st of September. How do we, in the pandemic, there's a lockdown. We can't go to our factories. Right? Even I can't go visit my factory. We've been asking for a delay. It's wo ho nahi raha hai. So, you know, in the toy industry needs to grow, and we are in MSE. In fact, I would like Mr. Uday Kumar sir, if you can join in and just help us out, sir. The toy sector needs a representation, you know, and we need to grow. How do we work in an environment where the industry is asking for a particular standardization, and they want to work with the government, but there is no reciprocal thing coming out. So,
yeah. Good evening to all of you. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And first, at the outset, I would like to wish all those MSME entrepreneurs World MSME Day today, and I'll also like to compliment the panelists for enlightening participants with various inputs, and in fact, especially compliments to Telangana government. When I saw this video clipping, it is too impressive. In fact, the way there is a message that if you don't take decision, there will be penalty to the bureaucrats. I think that is something actually maybe the first time I'm hearing it actually. So anyway, having said that, see, like as per this toy industry goes, actually, like see, I have been as NSIC director, I have been associated with the toy industries because we used to support your toy event, which used to happen every year in the Pragati Maidan. And I remember actually like meeting your toys association team, and who used to call on me, and they used to take a support. And I think they're all very innovative guys actually. In fact, actually, I even used to ask them, like, see, the toy industry by and large, I used to ask them, like, how many toy industries are, active players in India, and how many are importing the toys. I think by and large, probably at that time, almost 2-3 years back, I think almost 70% of the toys are coming from China only, China and other countries. But I do not know the true story today. But only thing is, like, now, having said that, now with this, the talk of, selective ban of Chinese items, and, India to become a self-sustaining manufacturing hub. I think there's one sector, if I can, pinpoint, I think the toy industry sector, the clusters, I think you're going to have a tremendous potential. But the only thing is, like, I'm not the right person to comment about the standardization of toys in India, because, see, I think it involves essentially like the BIS and probably like the ministry officials. I mean, I do not want to speak on behalf of the ministry official, but the only thing is, like, personally speaking, like, this when you talk about manufacturing, creating manufacturing hubs and clusters for toy industry in India, I think ultimately one is you have to meet the domestic standards. First of all, I think the toy industry does not have a proper standards to my knowledge actually. So I think now you people should immediately, at least on a self certifying basis, you need to come out with some standards actually, like which ultimately can be taken up with the BIS. I think BIS by and large, they are very proactive today. BIS is definitely like if you it is also a business model actually. In fact, if you approach BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, for setting up standards for the toys, I think why they should not be interested. One thing is, I do not know which ministry has to anchor it, and I do not know whether there is going to be a cost involved in this. I think even if there is a going to be a minor cost, I think it is worth it actually, because the one is to meeting the local domestic demand, and because now that the children of this country have already tasted the toys made in China and some other advanced countries. So I think now that, if there is going to be a sudden stoppage of quality toys or, the high-end toys to Indian children, I think there's going to be a major shock. So I think it is the Indian toy industry should come forward, and I think quickly, like, you should set up standards, and also set up high-tech toy industries in India, so that, like, the Indian children are not deprived of the quality and the values which are normally imbibed by the toys, especially when they're growing up. I think nowadays, actually, like, most of the kids are now migrating to mostly the digital toys. And I think most of this children, including college students, are glued to the video games which are available in the net and on online media. But nevertheless, actually, the physical toy industry has got a lot of role in shaping up the mind and the brain of children. And I think in this regard, actually, probably like your toy industry has to take up, with the Bureau of Indian Standards for coming out to standards. But in this regard, I do not see any role for National Small Industries Corporation, because we are not a truly government enterprise. We are only a public sector under the Ministry of MSME. But in case if you feel that actually like we can be of some help to you, please let us know. Definitely, like I'll be more than willing to take it up. I can also take it up with the ministry, and also I can take it up with even BAS also, because we day in day out we keep talking to BAS, Bureau of Indian Standards. Incidentally, like even if you want to carry out any testing for these toys or any material testing or electronic testing or some components testing, incidentally we do have testing centers for so many products across India. We can also definitely include some other testing technologies as well as testing machineries if our toy industry wants in our technology centers. So that much I can assure you. And I think more than that, actually, like when you talk about again indigenization, I think you need to also look at the major factor, that is the raw materials. I think I do not know whether we have a sufficient availability of raw material for making the high quality toys which are made in countries like China, in India. So when you talk about raw material, I think either you should have a indigenized raw materials, or there should be a mechanism to bring imported raw material. There again, if you want, NSIC will also definitely work with you. If you want actually like some raw materials to be identified and also to be procured and supplied to the industry, I think we'll also try to help you in this regard. And we do have a financial support mechanism, which is again, it is basically MSME friendly mechanism, which we can also provide actually to those micro and small toy manufacturers. And another thing which I can tell you is, we do have a e-commerce portal, which is basically a online B2B portal, which is a very nominally priced one actually, I think, which is also not much publicized by us. And I think this also can be, this is called msmemart.com, which is again has got a good reviews nowadays. And you can also, your people can use this portal for displaying the products, and also you can also have your own mini website, and there are so many features in this. And also like in addition to that, actually like if you want the toys to be supplied to any government agencies, or like for say for example like the child and women welfare departments or any other state government bodies, we also can pitch in actually like by providing the support of the tender marketing, wherein sometimes the state governments, if they're willing to give the tender to us, I think we can always we can take the tender and we can onboard. We can again provide the tenders to the manufacturers like as SME manufacturers, which may mostly consist of women entrepreneurs, because there is a mandatory 3% procurement target for the women entrepreneurs for any products into the government system. I think even this can be channelized through us. And apart from that, we have also now with the times, which is we are also now moving towards a manufacture of health-related products, providing health support systems for manufacturing PP kits, and also like some other medical items which are very badly needed for treating the COVID patients. And I think here also, like some of your toy manufacturers, they also want to branch out into manufacture of any of this health-related product, because which I foresee there's going to be a lot of demand for PP kits and health-related items in the days to come. I think especially I think I'm also seeing the Tripur Export Association being part of this actually. I think they are doing a wonderful job. I heard actually. I think they are now becoming one of the major export hubs in India, which they deserve, because they have been very badly hit, because of this, stoppage of orders from the Europe and US. So I think such clusters which are very powerful, which are also having a lot of, like inherent strengths and skill sets. I think we should also make use of such clusters, not only for manufacturing the health-related products, even for making, toys, like physical toys, wooden toys, or maybe like your toys which are otherwise being imported in India. We can, I think some of the MSME clusters have got excellent facilities, excellent skill sets, excellent workforce, which can also be converted as clusters and manufacturing centers for manufacturing toys. And apart from that, actually, like from our side, we also provide support for participation of MSMEs in the domestic events as well as foreign exhibitions. But I think this year, as of now, it is a complete washout because no event has taken place. But I think now there are talk of people organizing virtual exhibitions and trade fairs. And there again, we'll be able to support you people. And I'm sure actually maybe in a matter of few months, I think probably the full-fledged and events will start happening, which will be definitely like be one of the major vital like display priorities for you people. And we are also will be willing to support you. In fact, there are also subsidies available from the government, and we'll be willing to. Yeah.
I'm aware of that, sir, because we have taken some subsidies for our exhibitions in Bombay Kids India,
right.
And it's been really good. Sir, like you said, I just give you a little brief up. The toy industry basically has 80% focus on Indian market is 80% from abroad, China, and 20% is Indian, and that is how it works. So we are we are dependent on components that are available in that we get sourced only from a couple of countries or maybe only China. Like we don't have the reason why I think Pradeepji had said, the reason we don't have a major thing is we don't have a very supporting system. So in the clusters that we have, we need auxiliary units to supply us a lot of components and parts. Here I would like to in fact ask Mr. Chandrakant Solanki sir. Sir, I mean, when the government is promoting clusters, I think we should also ask them that if they can help supporting industries also coming in, because most of them are in the SME sector, and they can be like our go-to things. We want to keep it a little short right now because we're going to be running a little short of time, and we have questions coming in from our from attendees.
Then you can go ahead with the questions. I will not speak them.
No, sir. Boliye, sir. I've just coupled a couple of questions together, and we can go ahead with that, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Uday Kumar has mentioned about particular few things. Rather, it's a duty of or responsibility of the NSIC to provide value addition services currently and this pandemic, especially for the procurement, marketing support, rather raw material assistance, and mostly we have to cut short now importing from the China. Okay, government is putting efforts to make Atmanirbhar SME sector. Why? Because to compete with the global and international market. Today morning, we have organized the International SME Day celebration, and where Secretary Mr. Ekeshan also spoke about the same. And how we will support the SME sector, where we can give them energy to go global. Coming to the point about the Telangana and the West Bengal state, particularly lacking. See, the point is how you are interacting with the government, how you are presenting your case to the government, and how you are resolving the issues and problems of the SME sector depend on that the government act. Particularly, I know the KT Ramarao is very very energetic and very instantly reporting person. He don't say that if you give me information. He said I am going to give you information. So active minister is there and his father is there. He is taking care of to improve the capabilities of the local businesses. So I suggest we can take up very interesting support from the Telangana government. I know your Chief Secretary, Mr. Somesh Kumar, your Industry Secretary, your Industry Development Commissioner. We work with them and they are supporting regularly. Coming to the point about how we will support SME sector currently in this pandemic or after the pandemic, because mostly the MSME sector, I found that they are lacking for what? Finance, marketing, global market, rather in advanced technology, skilled manpower. Currently, there are at least 1.35 lakhs MSMEs are registered under the Udyog Aadhar and SSI. Okay, there are 6.35 crore MSMEs in India. Why the other MSMEs not registering with the government? Only 45 lakhs MSMEs are enjoying bank facility. Where are the 5 crore 90 lakhs MSMEs doing business from the bank? So traditional business is going on. So my suggestion to MSME sector that currently this is a good opportunity for you to take advantage of the various support services created by Ministry of MSME. You know, the vibrancy created the ministry now after took over as a secretary by Mr. A.K. Sharma. Very, very interesting person, and he is taking all the issues and problems with the Prime Minister. So अभी आप चिंता मत करो, जितने भी MSME देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं और मेरे साथ में है, अभी जमाना गया, चलता है, चलने दो। प्रदीप मुरारका जी आपने बहुत बताया पुरानी बातें, अब वो चला गया जमाना, अभी हमें नॉक करना है। जैसे केटी रामा ने कहा ना, मीट या बीट, अब वही है, नहीं तो सरकारी अधिकारी अभी उनको भी जरूरत है हमारी।
सर हम
उनको पता चला है विदाउट SME इंडिया विल नॉट ग्रो। प्राइम मिनिस्टर का जो $5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी का जो ड्रीम है वो हमारे MSME की मेरा पूरा नहीं होने वाला। एंड मिस्टर प्रकाश पटेल सेड to reduce your investment in particularly the property, instead of that approach Bhumi World or any other companies, like they have created special economic zones or special industrial premises. Utilize that. MSME should take this advantage. Because of that only they can reduce the burden, they can reduce the loan. Rather, today morning there was a MD from Doha Bank. Qatar is the richest country in the world. We want to make a reach our MSMEs. How will we make the MSME reach? First, integration of the MSME. Today we are celebrating International Day, International SME Day. So I took I. So what is an I? Integration of the SMEs. What for? What? Group marketing, supporting them to understanding clusters, internationalization of the SMEs to go global, to explore new opportunities, explore new market. With the diplomats or with our agencies. NSIC is doing very, very important work for the internationalization, and they have good connection. I'm connected to the last 30 years, and when Mr. Bhatnagar was there, we had done a lot of things with the NSIC. Improvement of the technology. Now, friends, without advanced technology, without your quality productivity, cost and quantity productivity, you can't beat China. You can't talk only on the webinar how will compete to China. You have to implement all these things in your factory and your group. All associations will come together and give the handholding. There is affordable patented technology available. Approach NSIC. Why not? They will be supporting it. Their role is that. Why government has given a set up the NSIC for connecting that. So this is one. Second, very important thing. Into industrialization rural. Why only Mumbai, Pune, and Gurgaon or Bangalore or Chennai? Why not in a rural area industrialization can be done? Like Telangana, like West Bengal, Maharashtra, Gujarat, they have allocated the land, industrial land, in the rural area. Now look at the Prime Minister has already announced the package for our migrant labor. For next 3 months, migrant labor will not come. But why? Because they want to survive in their places. So they are given. Another very interesting thing, we have to provide a entrepreneurship. How we are giving the internship to the job seekers. So like that, we have to give the entrepreneurship to create a new entrepreneurship. Then only we can, fulfill our entrepreneurship. How will they compete with China, Japan, or South Korea? Another very interesting thing I want to tell the iconic SMEs. Mr. Prakash Patel, आपके जितने भी यहाँ पर SMEs है, जिसमें अच्छा काम कौन कर रही है, जिसका प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, जिसकी क्वालिटी अच्छी है, जिसकी टेक्नोलॉजी अच्छी है, ऐसे आइकॉनिक SMEs को हमें प्रोजेक्ट करना जरूरी है. उसके माध्यम से हमारे दूसरे SME सीख सकते हैं, दूसरे SME फॉलो कर सकते हैं. और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण इनोवेशन. मैं जानता हूँ मुरारका जी ने कहा बराबर है कि हमारे SME अगर 40-50 प्रॉब्लम को दिन में फेस करे तो काय का इनोवेशन पकड़ के चले हो. इनोवेशन करने के बजाय वो धंधा करना करेगा कि इनोवेशन करेगा. So government should take care of all our problems, and Mr. Uday Kumar will convey our message to the government, particularly Mr. Vijendra and Mr. A.K. Sharma through this chat. I want that message should be given to the government. Another very second last point is incentives. Unless until incentives can be created in a very, very high level, we will not survive. Because MSMEs are putting their own money, taking a loan from the friends, taking loan from the banks, and the cost, you look at the cost of the funding, it's very high. आप मनोज जी आप जानते हो कि आज टॉय बिजनेस में भी कितना मार्जिन है आपके पास. 18% आप टैक्स भरते हो GST, उसके सामने आपका मार्जिन 18% भी नहीं है. तो So point is that the incentive is most important. And another one, information. The information to be given MSME sector with a very, very high profile information to be given for imparting their knowledge, skill and scale, not only entrepreneurs, but the workforce. And lastly, I want to tell that initiatives from the NSIC, Minister of MSME, or Bhumi World, or Informa exhibition company. Because of that only we can support MSME sector. तो ही हम हमारे SME sector को empower कर सकते हैं और strengthen करते हैं. Then we can think to stop the Chinese product bringing in India. First मैंने government को भी लिखा है कि पहले हमारे manufacturing sector को empower कीजिए, हमारे यहाँ पर local product बनाने के लिए सुविधा दीजिए, electronics product के लिए design करने के लिए दीजिए. और साहब आपका जो NSIC में जो testing
Chandrakant sir, I need to intervene here, sir. Sir, I need to intervene here, sir. Because we are running a little short of time. I have one. I want to actually get Mr. Vijay.
I would like to say just one line.
Pradeep, I will give you time because this is related to what Mr. Chandrakant sir just said. Vijay sir, as a textile association, what are you looking at? From the government for the SMEs, and taken on to the post that I would like Mr. Prakash Patel to take up. What is the how is Bhumi World going to be instrumental in upliftment of the SMEs? Vijay bhai, you have the mic, please. Vijay sir, you're on mute. Vijay sir, you're on mute, sir.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. I'm audible now? Yeah. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation, industry is struggling now. And the whole world, entire whole world, in the whole world, the common consumption has come down. Actually, Tirupur is based on ready-made apparel manufacturing and exports. And Tirupur is 50% of knitwear exports from India, where put together we have an export of 25,000 crore and 20,000 crore of domestic business. And we are doing around 45,000 crore business now. We are initiating an 1 lakh crore business in next 2 years because there is a much transfer of business from other competitive countries. To enhance this, we as a manufacturer have to be more competitive, have to improve the skill level and implement industrial engineering concepts, and the lean technology has to be implemented. By doing all these lean implementation, cost cutting, and bringing in innovations, we have to have an innovative fabric, innovative designs, and technology inventions. Only will give a solution to survive, because the competition is going to be high in coming days. So we have to be ready. So for that, to support MSME, government should have more programs on skilling, lean, industrial engineering, and also incubation centers to make research and find new developments and new concepts and new technologies. This is the solution for MSME, and all the MSME has to look after how to improve themselves and improve the business cycle. Now the business cycle, what in the garment industry is about 60 to 90 days. But the Chinese, our competitors, are doing 30 days. We have to think how to make a garment in 30 days and improve our cycle where we can have more ROI. And also, as said, there is some tariff barriers in US and Europe, which is the biggest importer of ready-made apparel from India. For India as a developed country, we have tariffs, and LDC, least developed countries, are having a duty-free access to compete with them. If any changeover from China will be going to the least developed countries only. If we want to take those business into India, we want to be more competitive in cost and have to keep our all raw materials at a lesser and constant price. We have a fluctuating fluctuating raw material price. We have to have a constant raw material price. For that, we need an intervention of government into it. And also, we need to concentrate on technical textiles. In India, we are very much lagging in the area of technical textile, where we were not able to have access on technology and very new concepts of technical textile. In technical textile, now only due to lesser orders, our manufacturers are looking towards the medical textile, that is PPE and mask production. In that, as said before, Mr. Uday Kumar mentioned that Tirupur, more than 250 units have now started medical textile production and come up in 3 months into a massive productive center in India. Almost 50% of medical textile, the coveralls have been now started being produced by Tirupur. and only 250 units are involved. More than 1,500 manufacturing units are there. The technology has to be learned by everyone. All the small MSMEs has to learn, and they have to come out with production. Surely there will be a very big opportunity, and also there is an opportunity in geotextile, agro-textile, and many technical textile area. Government has to have study centers in each cluster and implement a common facility center to MSME, so that in the common facility center we can have all these new technical inputs, technological inputs, so all the MSME can learn from there and take up from there and lead the market. Atmanirbhar MSME is surely possible if we make a try on it. So thanks for the opportunity given. Any questions I am ready to answer on this.
Sure. Thank you, Vijay sir, so much. It's very nice to know that in 3 months such a, I think, amazing achievement has been achieved from the textile sector. Prakash bhai, coming down to you, just like I had kaha tha, how do you think Bhumi World can help in the be instrumental in the upliftment of SMEs? Sir.
So basically, what our idea, I was like from last 2 years talking to lots of state government. Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
So last 2 years, I am talking to lots of state government that in state government, they are now just only giving land to the industrial units. They are not providing ready plug and play unit to the industrial users. So it is taking time. So I explained lots of government. So after 2 years, I met Telangana government. And I explained the things that we want a cluster development where a customer should get his factory in 130 days of time with ready plug and play infrastructure, with the ready unit, with the all permission and everything, and he can start his manufacturing on the 150th day of the establishment, where he can compete with the government with the price. So if आप मनीष भाई आप देखेंगे ना, तो आज की तारीख में जितने भी इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट जो डालते हैं उसका पर कॉस्ट आप देखोगे तो 3 से लेके 4,000 रुपए तक पर स्क्वायर फीट का कॉस्ट पड़ता है उसको, जिसके कारण उसका कॉस्ट जो है वो इट इज डायरेक्टली इफेक्टिंग टू हिज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोडक्ट, where his because of the investment total is going into the majorly into the capital goods which is land and building. वो हमने तेलंगाना गवर्नमेंट से बात की, शेयर किया और उन्होंने एग्री किया, और फर्स्ट गवर्नमेंट है मेरे ख्याल से इंडिया के अंदर जिसने ये एग्री करके हम लोग जो है मोस्टली जो है हम लोग उसको 1,200 रुपया पर स्क्वायर फीट तक लेके आने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से जो है उसको रेडी प्लग एंड प्ले यूनिट मिलेगा, जिसकी वजह से वो सस्टेन कर पाएगा और सब इंडस्ट्री पूल कर पाएंगे। मेरे को एक थ्रेट के बारे में बताना है मनीष भाई आपको। थ्रेट ऐसा है कि चाइना गवर्नमेंट से हमारा इंटरेक्शन बहुत टाइम से है, क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत सारी चाइनीज फैक्ट्री एस्टेब्लिश हमने यहाँ पर मुंबई में किया हुआ है, जिसमें क्या हो रहा है कि चाइनीज गवर्नमेंट जो है वो अभी तक चाइना गवर्नमेंट में लेबर कॉस्ट बढ़ गया, एक्सपोर्ट सब्सिडी बंद कर दिया, इंडिया गवर्नमेंट ने एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी डाला, तो चाइना चुप नहीं बैठने वाला। चाइना ने क्या किया है, जितने भी चाइनीज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग उनको बोला आपका कंजम्पशन जहाँ पर ज्यादा है वहां जाके अपना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट शुरू कीजिए। आप मानोगे नहीं सर, लास्ट 6 महीने से ये कोविड को छोड़ दो, लेकिन ये जैसे हम एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी लगाते जा रहे हैं वो सब लोग जो है चाइना वाले यहाँ इंडिया में आके फैक्ट्री यूनिट डाल रहे हैं, जिसका कंजम्पशन मोर देन 80% एक्सपोर्ट फ्रॉम चाइना टू इंडिया 80% से ज्यादा है। वो सब लोग चाइना से इंडिया आ रहे हैं और अपना मैन्युफैक्चर, मेरे यहाँ पर लास्ट 6 महीने में 60 यूनिट एस्टेब्लिश हो गया जो चाइनीज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है, स्मॉल स्केल है, जिसका एरिया 3,000 से लेके 10,000 है। गवर्नमेंट ने उनको बता दिया है कि नाउ आपका कंजम्पशन टर्की में वहाँ जाओ, आपका कंजम्पशन वियतनाम में आप वहाँ जाओ, आपका कंजम्पशन इंडिया में आप वहाँ जाओ, लेकिन हम हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट को जो है ना चाइना से लेके ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड वाइड जो कर देंगे। अभी अपने पास सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम जो है ना वो 2 ही जन सॉल्व कर सकता है, एक तो अपने खुद के यहाँ के मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो लोग है वो, और गवर्नमेंट। ये हम दोनों जो है ना एक कोलैबोरेशन के साथ में चलना पड़ेगा। टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करते हैं, आज की तारीख में आईफोन यहाँ पर इंडिया में बन रहा है, लेकिन आईफोन जो है वो इंडिया में बन ही नहीं रहा है, उसका सब पार्ट तो चाइना से बन के आता है, यहाँ खाली असेंबल होता है वहाँ पर, इट इज एक्चुअली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। तो वो आज इंडिया के अंदर भी जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है उसमें 80% मैन्युफैक्चरिंग वाले को पूछूंगा रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से आता है तो बोलते चाइना से आता है। तो बेसिकली वी आर हैविंग प्रॉब्लम कि हम चाइना का बॉयकॉट करना शुरू करेंगे, हम बराबर है, लेकिन उसके साथ में हम अपना कैपेबिलिटी नहीं बनाएंगे, वो रॉ मटेरियल कल से देना बंद कर देगा, उसके बाद हम खुद भी जो है पैरालाइसिस हो जाएंगे। वो अपने को सोचना बहुत जरूरी है।
एब्सोल्युटली प्रकाश भाई, जैसे मैंने कहा था ऑक्सिलरी यूनिट्स इंडिया में है नहीं, तो उसके लिए आएगा। इनफैक्ट एक मेरे पास सवाल है मदन जी के लिए। मदन सर, इफ यू डोंट माइंड, जैसे हम लोग बोल रहे कि हम लोग जैसे प्रकाश सर ने बताया कि भूमि वर्ल्ड में इतनी सारी 60 मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स आ गए हैं 6 महीने के अंदर। इज इट अभी BI स्टैंडर्ड्स आने वाले हैं और हमारे पास लैब्स बहुत कम है इंडिया में टेस्टिंग के लिए, एक वो बॉटलनेक आने वाला है। Is it possible that as the associate partner in Bhumi World, is it possible that we can have a testing laboratory within this complex, so that it is easy for us also to the testing? Madan sir, you're on mute, sir. Madan ji, आप mute में sir.
So basically, I can give you answer, no problem. I think so. Some problem is we can't hear. So already in our industrial park, we are not providing only unit. We are providing support system to the unit holder, where also we have the lab in our industrial park only for food category, for printing, for engineering, for lots of food industry. So we already have lab that. So we are now supporting 1,500 factory, which is already there in our industrial park, by way of marketing their product into e-commerce platform by our team, because they were very much illiterate for the e-commerce platform, how to market there, because there the manufacturing size was very small. Then we are providing the debt syndication, where they were paying 15% interest, and now we are making them 9.
Prakash, my question is very specific to the testing laboratories. Is it possible to have one?
Yes, already have. We already have.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So in Telangana, where the whatever industries are going to happen, Telangana government not going to provide only this. They are going to provide incubator center in every industrial park, where our industrial holder will be having the research development forum also in the industrial park, where we can develop and validate that.
Perfect. So, okay, I'd like to just thank everybody for the time, and I think I want to just sum it up in a very simple way that I think that for going ahead, we need to make the policy like make in Telangana. The policy should be made like Telangana, but spread across all across India. Yes. And I think we can make the 5 trillion economy and the thing better. I would like Mahesh Bhai to take over the charge and give us concluding remarks, please. Mahesh Bhai.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I think it was very, very, very enriching, especially from Mirji. I think Mirji, you set the ball rolling, and Telangana is the destination which Bhumi World is starting with, and we are going pan-India too. To really, Manish ji, I think the way the entire thing was conducted was very nice. Abhijit ji, Neeta, Sai, I think thank you for all the support. Uday ji, Himanshu ji, Vijay Kumar ji, Pradeep ji, Madan Kumar ji. We all are very happy today the way it is gone, and we would like to see that India thrives on the MSME sector, and whatever dreams we have, it will be fulfilled, God willing. Thank you so much.
And I want to request Chandrakant ji, because Chandrakant is very much connected to the government, all state government. I want him to pursue all the government and explain them what is the cluster development and what will be the next requirement of the cluster development, and it is mandatory, because if it is not, the government is also in a traditional way only selling land and all the procedure. Very much havoc. If government start doing plug-in unit, it will be the best for the next opportunity what we are going to get.
My initiative is
I would like to add only one line for Mr. Chandrakant ji.
I am pursuing with the government, particularly from Minister of MSME. Mr. Uday Kumar, you should listen to that. Recognizing the private industrial park. Okay, recognizing the private industrial park for MSME or large or small corporate, because government land is very costly. Government sometimes government land or government industrial area is not providing infrastructure development, but private sector can provide. So how the economic zones are created, like that SME zone can be created in all states. So I will first I will request the Telangana government to set up that. I will write to them tomorrow. But we will take up Prakash Patel. If he has some suggestion, we will take up that to the concerned government.
I'll just take two more questions. One is from Mr. One is from Mr. Pradeep ji, and one is from Himanshu ji. We'll take the last two questions. Pradeep ji, you want to say something?
Chandrakant ji, ने जो presentation दिया, that was very nice. लेकिन एक बात सिर्फ मैं एक लाइन कहना चाहूंगा जो मोदी जी के कंटेक्स्ट में, हमारे करंट गवर्नमेंट के कंटेक्स्ट में, वे बैक इन द 2013 जब मोदी जी प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं बने थे, मैंने उनको बहुत क्लोजली बैठ के, when he came to Calcutta, I was sitting very close to him when he came and given his verdict and his opinions and his vision for India. On that time, Gujarat
जो प्रदीप जी भी हो,
just a minute, half a minute. एक मिनट, ठीक है ना? मोदी जी का विजन था कि गुजरात मॉडल.
So basically, Pradeep Bhai is also known as in a Gujarat. He's all very closely working with Gujarat government. So let's listen from him. So he can give good idea of what Modi is doing in Gujarat and what is the model of Gujarat, where it is going and how it is going.
Himanshu bhai, you wanted to say something? Himanshu bhai, you can come on, please.
Yeah, I was just trying to concentrate on one thing, that the cluster development, the smart industrial cluster development policy is very important. If you can see the growth of China as a global manufacturing hub, that smart industrial cluster make lot of we can say the benefits for that. So I think SME organizations should take some lead. They should identify some cluster and some states and some cities in which cities which is the proper segment for that. Let's say for the toys, as for example, Telangana is better, or for the textile, another state is better. So we should try to set up those clusters in those particular areas, and together we can, or Government of India can promote those destinations for that particular hub. As we rightly said, that for the toys, EU is known for that. For in China, for electronic segment, Shenzhen is there. For the automobile sector, then another area is there. So that makes very much difference. We will cut our internal throat cut competition. Like here we have 29 states, and all states are inviting those companies. आप मेरे वहाँ पर आ जाओ, आप मेरे वहाँ पर आ जाओ, ये है वो है. So इससे better है कि हम proper segment wise cluster development करें plan, और उसी sector को focus करें. I would like to give a small example. In Gujarat, Morbi is an area which is an we can say ceramic hub of India. 98% of ceramic tiles is there in Morbi, and majority of them are getting exported as well. So here we are working out something. There we have made we can say a socio-economic cluster development. So all those industries in Morbi come together, their association has taken a lead, and they have made the entire thing in a streamline. They have developed and skill development center over there privately. I am talking about the private management, no government expectation. सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट से बात हुई तो गवर्नमेंट को इतना ही बोला गया कि सर आप हमें परेशान ना करो ना, वही हमारे लिए सबसे बेस्ट सपोर्ट है, हमें हमारे तरीके से करने दो.
ठीक है, point taken, sir.
Yeah, so that kind of things. So
Sure.
SME India can take a lead in that, I guess.
Sure, point taken, sir. I think Uday Kumar sir had one question. I think we'll take that as the last question, sir.
Actually, I do not want to. I just only wanted to make two observations. One is Mr. Chandrakant was mentioning about creating, support system. See, thing is actually this concept of a supporting system for MSME is already available. It's only you have to as a user industry, you have to express your need. You see, there is something called technology centers, which are under the Ministry of MSME. So you can ask suppose if you want to make some dies or molds or any special components for the toy industry, you can get it. You can get it made from this technology centers. And the second is actually even we do have technology centers, and if you require a testing facility, we are willing to put it up. But actually, there is also a scheme called ATI, assistance with the training institutions, under which Ministry gives a funding to us, funding to MSME institutions to put up any testing facility of the need of the industry. If you need any testing facility, we can put it up. Only thing is the need has to come in a consolidated way from the user industry. And in fact, government is also planning to set up another 100 plus 20 hub and spoke technology centers. Maybe some of the technology centers can be targeted for your toy industry. I think now you have to work closely with the government, especially you have to, because earlier most of the people are importing the toys. Now you need to create the ecosystem which has to come from both the sides.
Correct, sir.
I disagree with this, that I also have one training center of apparel, फ्रॉम द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, उन्होंने आया 2-3 महीना चलाया, उसके बाद चले गए, उसके बाद हमको चलाना पड़ा वो बेसिकली।
नहीं आप क्यों छोड़ रहे हैं इसको उनको?
हम
एक साल 2 साल के लिए अग्रीमेंट करना पड़ेगा।
Sir, I'd like to conclude here. I think I wanted to just again mention this again to Mir sir again. Okay, sir, Purani Kavati, child is the father of man. The child state of the country should be the father of man. Now, I think you've shown us the way with some fantastic details. And I don't know if you noticed Mr. Himanshu Patel, he was smiling when I said, that model should be replicated all over the country. I would like Mahesh ji again. Mahesh ji, you that? Yeah, Mahesh ji, I think we are a little over time. Like just to conclude it. And I think we can just call it a day, sir. Thank you very much, all the participants. Mahesh ji,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having